Hi everyone, welcome to my reading. Welcome to my channel. That was weird. Let me fix the lighting too. Okay. Hi everyone. So I don't really know what this reading is gonna be about, but we're just gonna try and get through this. Okay. I went to the opera yesterday, the live park opera. It was so beautiful. It was hot. It was hot, hot. A lot of people were drinking. I was like, under this weather, I don't think so. I actually quit drinking 2 months ago. I also quit smoking marijuana 2 months ago. So this is gonna be my 2 month mark. By this time next month, I should also be done smoking. Oh, that was not the card that I saw. Sorry. I should also be done smoking tobacco. I'm just going to take a break for as long as possible, see how different my life will be. Also trying to move into an apartment. Right. So my goals this season, I usually don't share my goals because, like, sharing insight on my goals, I should say, I usually don't share insight on my goals because of these motherfuckers, those motherfuckers. So instead of making them a reason, I'm going to destroy and remove and yeah. Oh my gosh, this is all in reverse. Let me check. Yeah. So now we know. So literally just clearing it out, as you can see. Yeah, there's judgment. Yeah, there's judgment. There's also Four of Wands. So there's real reason here next to another reason. So there's, you know what I mean, to do that. And then what'd you call it? So here's some insight on my goals this season. So if you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Mimi. My name is Amina, but I go by Mimi. I am a chef, entrepreneur. I am a all-round jack of all trades. I am the Empress. I come up as the Queen of Cups to people who, you know, are curious for real. And basically, I'm a creative explorer. I'm a nomad. I don't want to be a nomad, but traditionally I'm a nomad. The difference between me and my other nomadic people are that I travel through timelines, so between realms. Okay, so what'd you call it? There's a lot going on. Okay, so I'm a red galactic skywalker. If you don't know what that means, it means that I am a pillar of heaven and earth. Okay, I am a dragon tamer, dragon a watcher. If you don't know what those really are, then I don't know, you do your research, honestly. And if you don't believe in God, science, art, performance, life, death, or anything that is of substance, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay, God is good always. God is real. That's just the reality of the matter, the reality of the situation. Um, there's all sorts of creatures out here. So this is like my reintroduction, right? So what'd you call it? There's elves. There's elves. I was gonna say jokers, but what are they really called, right? Jesters, right? There's elves, jesters, fairies, all sorts of crazy unfathomable creatures that exist in different realms all around the universe. Okay, so yeah, that's coming through. So we're just gonna start this reading. Okay, I don't just do tarot readings. I don't just do energy readings. I don't just, you know what I mean? Reading is easy. Everything is easy technically. It's just finding that ease that people, you know, battle with or whatever. Yeah. So basically, let's start. Let's begin. So, what is the message from God, from the Holy Spirit, from the Heavenly Father, from Archangel Michael, from the Spirit Guides, ancestors? First card at the top of the deck. Okay. So, lover's energy. So there's alignment here. That's good. There's a vision. It's being manifested. It's being grounded. Okay. And I was watching some readers and a lot of them are panicking. I don't know why. It's a lot of panic. I'm not trying to be like the type of person that's like, I don't know why, and then it happens to me. So we're not doing that. I don't know why because I'm not going to panic. Okay. So there's other cards that popped out here, Empress in reverse. So there's a perception of an Empress in reverse. So I don't know if that's like Horus energy or what it is. It's like Horus is like I don't know what it is. So there seems to be an Empress in reverse, some sort of false masculine energy, that false Pisces masculine energy possibly. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Okay, I just don't know. Archangel Michael is stopping whatever it is that they thought that they were gonna do to this Four of Pentacles right here. So this Four of Pentacles isn't just a regular Four of Pentacles. It's coming up as I don't know how to explain it, y'all. Like, I don't know how to explain it, right? So you could be holding up a spoon, right? And you're like, I'm going to eat my soup with my spoon, right? And that is a correct Bible sentence. There's an opportunity for that, right? If you got soup in front of you, if you got a spoon in your hand. But somebody else could come in and is like, what are you going to use that fork for? That's what I'm talking about. So it's like, are you going to sit there and be like, why is this person thinking that the spoon is a fork? Well, I'm going to let my soup get cold, drop my spoon down, and now think about why, and ruminating on why they're seeing that in that perspective. And it doesn't make any sense in general. Like, what, how, like, the first question should be, how did that person get into my house? You know what I mean? Like, that should be the first question. So it's like a lot of people don't know where to start in a situation, and they project that same energy. So people don't know where to start when it comes to alignment. That's honestly, how did you get into this field? That's really the question, right? How did you get onto this planet? How did you get into this world? Like, the fuck, right? So that's really what's going on. Okay. So we're moving on now. So there's alignment according to Heavenly Father, God. God says there's alignment, and so there shall be. Okay, and there is, right? Ashe. So yeah. So there's alignment, and there seems to be some sort of some sort of challenge when it comes to the journey, life path. So life path challenge. What is that life path challenge? So first of all those people that were like confused about where to start in a specific journey, they're some sort of necromancer energy. So deceiving those with strong longing acts as if the dead are living. Okay. To basically explain the situation, it's like Deuteronomy 18:11, Matthew 8:22, Surah 27:65, 10 evil acts for speech. That's the best way that anyone could really explain the situation. I feel like that's just how it is. I'm going to read it out for you guys because it seems like, since, look it, right? I feel like it'll clear a lot. Yeah, I feel like it'll clear a lot if I just go ahead and do that now, okay? Okay. So Deuteronomy 18:11. See, this is pissing me off. Oh. Don't you just hate it when you're typing in Deuteronomy 18:11 and AI wants to explain to you what's written there instead of just showing you? So I have to go back. So it technically starts with Deuteronomy 10, but we'll just go directly to 18:11. Oh my gosh, bro. These websites. Okay, so or cast spells, or who is a medium or spiritist who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things are detestable to the Lord. Because of the same detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. So that's basically what it is. So those who some or cast spells, or who is a medium spirit or spiritists, or who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Because of these same detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. Okay, so let's look for, what do you call it? So let's see what the etymology of the word detestable means so that you guys can understand what it really means. Okay, detestable, okay. So it is abominable, loathsome, accursed, to curse, called down by oath, to abhor, okay. So basically, odious, right? Deserving of strong dislike, worthy of being hated, offensive, hateful, right? That which ought to be testified against, right? So basically, it is your duty, your human duty, to literally dislike it, like literally dislike it, right? So deserve is somebody that works for dislike. So they do things because they think that they profit off of dislike. So it's like someone like infamy. They do things to piss people off and then they think they should get paid for it, right? So let's do, actually I can just do this all over here, but I like the light energy. Okay, so let's do Matthew 8:22, right? So Matthew 8:22, but Jesus told him, follow me and let the dead bury their own dead. Okay, make sense? Okay, so let's go for Surah 27:65. So say, okay, O prophet. Oh, okay, sorry. None in the heavens and the earth has acknowledged of, none in the heavens and the earth has knowledge of the unseen except Allah, nor do they know when they will be resurrected. Okay, so we don't really know. Even if the power of resurrection is my power, it really is not up to us to know when there will be resurrected. It's God that actually initiates that. Okay, so you see, so then we'll go for 10 evil acts. Okay, so for speech, right? What does it mean that these necromancers really do when they deceive and all that, right? So lying, right? To speak with the intention of misinterpreting the truth and deceiving others. A complete act of lying occurs when the speaker unknowingly lies and the listener is deceived. So they knowingly lie, right? So the thing about it is that we can't lie about these things because we don't know about these unseen things, right? So we can't lie about it. If we don't know about it, we can't lie about it, right? That's how God protects us, right? So they are knowingly lying. So when you ask them like, well, how do you know? And they act like they know, that's the problem. We don't know. So they're lying. You can see that they're lying once you know that they don't know, right? Sorry, that they know something, right? So when they say that they know something or act like they know something, or the only thing that they know is why they're lying, how they're lying, and where the lie is coming from. That's all they know about. They don't really know anything about the unseen realms. We don't know. We are not going to lie about it regardless, right? So divisive speech, slanderous speech. Speaking in the way that creates discord and breaks relationships between people. This can include repeating gossip or criticism spoken by others. Okay, that's clear, right? Harsh speech, using angry or abusive words with the intention of causing hurt or revealing hidden faults, right? An idle chatter, engaging in meaningless or aimless conversation that distracts the mind and doesn't deserve wholesome purpose. So that's the energy that came through at the beginning to start trying to act like it was the challenge. They're not the challenge. They're going back in reverse. So they're not a challenge. I hope you understand. We were asking for what the challenge was. Those motherfuckers wanted to come out, right? So yeah, they're all going in reverse, right? So these two cards are in reverse, so I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to read what they are, right? Driftwood persona and a firekeeper persona, okay? So and then we have these two cards that are about to be in reverse, which is Leash Holder Persona and Signal Interceptor Persona, which is the actual energy that they came through in the reading as. So whatever they were trying to say, whatever they were trying to act like, all those individuals trying to do shit against us and all that shit, like where they're trying to challenge us, where challenges are not due, right? So they went in reverse. Whatever they were trying to do goes in reverse. No weapon formed against us shall ever prosper, right? So now we have who they are and what they do, okay? So keeps others on a short control influence chains, okay? So they think that they have some sort of knowledge of influence, especially when it comes to the unseen. So that's cut off because there's no such thing, or we don't know about it, right? So there's no way that they could know about it. It's not about, so these are individuals who try to pretend to be God as well. Like I said, that they know about the unseen or something like that, but they don't, right? Okay, so signal interceptor persona, and that's why they thought that they could lie to begin with, right? Because they thought that they could signal intercept, right? So here it is. Takes messages meant for others and distorts them. So now you guys know. That's basically it. That's the lie. They basically know what the message is from God, and then they refuse to actually acknowledge it or give it up or anything like that. But they act like as if that they're like holding on to some sort of loyalty to some sort of unseen force that they don't even know about, right? So yeah, to distort them. And that's another thing. It's like they have this kind of like agenda of trying to make it seem as if that there's an unseen force that is God, but it's not. God is very much seen. Okay, so that's what we're trying to say here. We know of God because God lets us know of Him, because He Himself is not of the unseen, but is the creator of even the unseen. You see what I'm saying now? So that's another thing. You see, you see what I'm saying now? You see? Okay, talk. So that's what they wanted to distort. So that's where they come from whenever they're trying to act like God isn't real or God doesn't exist or Jesus isn't real or whatever like that. Because they're like, how would you be able to know about some unseen da 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 da? Well, some of us do see it. And they can't because they're not focused on the right thing, right? They're focused on whatever it is that can't be seen when they should be more focused on what can be seen. God says that God says that the kingdom shall come. Like, you know what I mean? Kingdom cometh, right? So God says kingdom cometh, so kingdom is seen, right? So we've seen kingdom, we know what kingdom is, right? So we know that that's not a part of the unseen realm, it's part of the seen realm, right? So that's another thing. That's another thing that I was explaining, right? Traveling between realms, right? So we know the kingdom is one realm, and then there's other realms that exist as well. So that's another thing. So they're going in reverse because they can't distort the truth to act as if that the lie has any substance or value. So now we're here with the Three of Wands energy. So the Three of Wands energy in reverse with the Moon in reverse, the challenge when it comes to the alignment, right? Challenge that already is fourth, that alignment is supposed to overcome, has to do with pressure for conserving resources amid declining demand. That makes so much sense, bro. That makes so much sense. Okay, so for conserving pressure for conserving resources amid declining demand. So there's a lot of pressure for conserving resources amid declining demand. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Recently I was trying to get this. I'm trying to get this like ticket for this like fashion event that I'm trying to go to. Right, it's really important to me. But what'd you call it? I saw the price and then I saw my bank account and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, do I want to pay this amount? Do I want to be able to go to this thing? And so I checked out the fashion of like previous years and something like that. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, it looked ugly as hell, right? But like, what do I know, right? It's not, actually, I know a lot. You know, I used to model a lot. So it's not that, it's just really disheartening within a situation because it's like, why are all these people fucking creating all these like lines that are like not really that nice? And it's because they're not focused on the right thing, right? Because the people that are coming there are only people who are like older, like 60 plus or 50 plus or 40 plus, and they seem to can afford it because they've saved up, the amount that they pay for the ticket after 40 years and 10 years of waiting, right? So then the demand for it is like all these people that like think that that's what fashion is, and it's not, and it's like really sad. But would you call it but it is for the consumer of the product, right? So that makes sense. It's more economic than you think, right? So like if I'm going to go into the market, it would frankly just change the kind of design factoring in, right? So next year they'll invite me to the market, to the fashion show, and they'll be like, oh, if I since I'll be going there, I know I'm going to be going there, and regardless, like I said, it's important to me, right? Like I said, I saw the price and I looked at the thing and I was like, what the fuck? So, what'd you call it? If I was to now go to the fashion event, right? I go to the fashion event and and I'm just like this the whole time. I'm definitely not ruining the vibes in the situation. Look, they're trying to blind me now. Like I'm saying, I'm definitely not ruining the vibes within the situation, right? What I'm trying to do is actually factor in the fact that I'm not the only one who finds these things kind of appalling, right? But one thing I do know is that, would you call it, that the next year's market is going to change. So like the fashion is going to change, and then people would be far more intrigued about it, right? So all those people that were faking it, they're going to be like, oh, right? They're going to be like, wait a minute, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, da, 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 da. And then there's going to be more people and more people that basically increase demand over time. But right now, there's a declining demand. You see what I'm saying? So the nobility within the situation is prudence, which is actually something that I keep. right? I keep a lot of prudence in my life, so it's like that's actually a divine inheritance of mine is prudence. So luckily for me, that's why I really loved Sabrina, like the Teenage Witch, the show, because as soon as I saw Prudence as like a girlie that looked like me with bald head and chasing after her Blackwood father, you know what I mean, trying to destroy him before he brings out the eldritch horrors, I was like, oh, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. I really enjoyed that. That was something I really, really I really enjoyed, man. I really enjoyed that. So let's see. So let's get the Eddie of Prudence. Okay. So the justification of the prudence, by the way, would be protecting core strengths, right? Obviously. And the merit within that is stability, which is where we're at right now. So right now, I've already overcome the transitioning market and I'm entering the contracting market, which is the market that we're in. So this is the market that's coming in for the collective. Like I said, I'm the Empress, so it happens to me and blah, 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 it trickles down the system. So foresight, sagacity. I haven't heard that word. Practical judgment, right? We saw the judgment, foreseeing, skilled, and wise, right? Ability to see ahead, wisdom, discretion, right? Discretion. That's another thing. That's why I said I don't usually give out insight for my goals, or my goals. Insight for my goals. I meant insight of my goals. You see what I'm saying? But would you call it? That's a part of sound judgment, right? So like even the ability to what you call it the ability to keep things what you call it discreet, right? That's another thing. They really wanted to take discretion. You know when it says discretion is advised, right? So there's caution advised and then discretion is advised. So right now they don't, so it's like that's probably what's going on with the readers. Like I said, I'm not going to panic because it's discretion that's advised, not caution. You know what I mean? So they don't know. Anytime something is advised, they think it's caution, and it's not always caution, right? So we're going to look up discretion, and then we're also going to look up providence, because that's another thing. So anytime I talked about being an earth angel, I talked about the importance of the dominion, also the importance of the high vibrational angel. So like the ranking and angelic ranking, right? So we have earth angels, we have angels, and then we have what you call it, dominions, right? Well, let's just first let's do the what you call it ranking of the angels. Okay, so we got okay, sorry, I had to fix it because like they playing with me. So basically it starts with closest to the earth, we have the earth angels, angels, personal messengers, guardians, individuals. You see what I'm saying? Then you have archangels, right? So you have chief messengers, critical missions, Gabriel, Michael, right? So then you have the archaea, right? Archai, right? So you have the principle, right? Then you have exousia, right? The authority. Then you have dynamis, right? Power. What you call it? Then you have the Kairotets, which is like technically lordships, right? So instead of dominions, we'll say lordships because that's better, right? We'll go with lordships because like the lord of the planet, right? So lordships, right? So that's where Jesus Christ was when he was already here, was already by lordship. You know what I'm saying? Right? Okay. That's why it was like it took him 33 years to get to like king type shit. Okay, type shift. Okay, so basically then you have the thronoi, right? Then you have thrones embody God's justice and authority, right? Then you have cherubim, and then you have seraphim. Okay, so yeah, that's how it is, right? So obviously, if it's obvious, like you know what I mean. So once you're on Earth, right? You then it's like then you get the archangels, which is like that the like atmosphere above atmosphere and above, right? So like surrounding, right? And then past that you get the rest of the angels, right? You get the rest of the ranking, right? So you know that like theme where it's like the cosmic order of things, where it's like the woman that's inside the world, and then she like puts her hand and head outside, and she's like, whoa, what the heck, you know what I mean? And it's like the star systems and then everything like that, right? So inside it's like earth angels, angels, and archangels are the very border of it all, right? The border of it all. And then outside of it all is the rest of the angels. Okay, so like people who try to claim that they're seraphims here on earth are actually quite delusional, right? I thought that they could never make me hate me. I thought that they could never make me hate her or them or something like that. But God was like, and I concur otherwise, right? So now is a very strong dislike, because that's exactly what they're doing it for. They're doing it for a strong dislike. That's what they think works for them, right? That's why they're trying to interrupt prudence, right? They're trying to be a challenge to prudence when the challenge to prudence is conserving resources, right? Because obviously, I talked about what I keep, right? So I keep prudence, so right. So now prudence is kept within me, right? So then prudence attracts prudence. So if since prudence attracts prudence, what is prudence attracting? So let's look it up again. So eddy of prudence again. So let's say, so foresight, sagacity, practical judgment, forward, ahead to see, right? Ability to see ahead, discretion, sound judgment, wisdom, right? So basically that's all that I'm attracting, right? But then once all of that is within me, sound judgment, discretion, wisdom, and so on and so forth, which it is ashe right now, right? Ability to govern and discipline oneself by reason, right? Remember when I said that there was no reason for that, but there's a reason for this, right? So what'd you call it? So discipline oneself by reason, carefully, and wise conduct. That's what now I'm attracting towards me, is careful and wise conduct. So now there's respect involved, right? So respect comes through by the stability. So stability will come first and then the respect. You see what I'm saying now? So now that we see that there's stability, now we understand what the secret of that journey is that the secret of the journey has to be within the stability in order to attract what? Respect. So that's not what is coming in right now. Respect isn't coming in right now. Stability is, though. So there's alignment, and alignment probably to stability, right? So yeah, there we go. So here it is. I kid you not, right? I kid you not, right? 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. So the stability is being, would you call it, manifested, right? You see what I'm saying? Is being manifested. I am stable. I am wise. I am reserved. I am discreet. I am sound judgment. I am with sound judgment. I am wisdomful. I am careful. I am reasonable. I am practical. I am practical with wisdom. I am thoughtful. I am graceful. I am sound. I am let's look up the Sagacy. Sagacious. I am sagacious. Perfect. That's the exact word, right? Sharpness of mind. I am sagacious. I am sagacious. I am sagacious. My sagacious gets me paid, and I get paid in full, right? I am sagacious, and my sagaciousness deserves reward. I deserve reward through. You see what I mean? It's no I. It's my sagaciousness deserves reward. You see how it's now an angel. So now the angel is here for sagaciousness. Sagaciousness is like, what? Really? I'm getting paid? And it's like, yes, you're getting paid sagaciousness. Now go to God, right? And now God is giving sagaciousness that payment. I'm praying, and it's all being in alignments, right? So clearly there's something that isn't happy with the way that I'm doing this, with the way that my inner child is, or I don't know what it is that's going on there. Someone is trying to like glorify and glorious, right? And glorify my inner child or something. I don't know what the hell that is. That's something I'm gonna heal right now. Okay. So let's do that because collective, that's what is important. Okay. So let's look up. So that's basically slandering. Someone was trying to slander my inner child or something, right? It's so complicated, but that's another thing, right? Remember when I talked about like how like this is a spoon, I got soup, and someone starts going like, "What are you gonna do with that fork?" Right? That's an example, right? So it's like they're trying to perform slanderous energy over my inner child, and they can't do that because God has my inner child literally cocooned. Like, you know what I mean, cocooned. So etymology of inglorify. Okay, so to not glorify, to not make glorious. So defames or dishonors someone publicly, akin to slander or libel. That's what I thought. And destroys reputation or legacy of person, office, or institution. Historically gained. So basically false accusations that was treated as a serious offense. Basically failing to honor ancestors, rulers, or sacred offices could be legally or morally punishable. So that's really what it is. So failure to honor ancestors. So they're trying to accuse my inner child, me. Okay, so they're trying to accuse me of dishonoring my ancestors or some bullshit like that. Okay, so that's another thing. So that's them trying to come up with some bullshit. Okay, so that's them trying to come up with some bullshit. They don't know that they're trying to make it like seem that way, but that's how it is, right? So what are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do about this? You know what I mean? What are we gonna do about this? Because I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do about this. So yeah, we got to understand first of all, they're not them or anything about them. We got to first of all understand what kind of weapon this is. Okay, so what kind of weapon is that, Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father? Because no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Maybe that's what it is. So Two of Cups, playing around. Remember we talked about this in the last reading? I literally talked about this in the last reading. That's what it is that they wanted to act like. So it's discretion that they wanted to dissolve. So they're trying to dissolve discretion, right? So they're trying to dissolve discretion is basically what it is. So let's look up discretion, right? So Eddie of discretion. Okay, so separating, distinguishing, judgment, to separate, distinguish, discriminate. That's what I thought it would mean. Perceive, sift, prudence, discernment, ability to judge rightly. So basically, careful judgment. So they're trying to dissolve careful judgment. I don't know how they would even think to do that. Let's see. Okay, actually here it is. I'm gonna do it this way. So they're doing something to try and dissolve careful judgment, right? So they're trying to probably cause like, I don't know, distractions or something. Ooh, dang. Okay, so we have the two that went back to sender. So yeah, I don't know what that is. Okay, so basically they're trying to cause unnecessary like they're trying to like attract chaos, so people are perceiving chaos over the silver lining or the challenge or their focus, or they're trying to use chaos to distract focus, basically is how they're trying to do it. Yeah, they're trying to, yeah, basically that's what it is. So these people, they failed. So there are multiple things that they failed to do. So we're gonna no, that's not it. So they failed to obviously do something else, and they are trying to do this instead. So that's what we're gonna see now. What it is, we're gonna expose it. So it's a monopolistic competition, all right, which is supposed to be fair, honestly, and a fragmented market. So boaster, there it is, demonic energy. So covets against others through assuming justice, hysterically competes with justice. So they okay, so Proverbs 27:2. James 4:16, Surah 31:18, Bhagavad Gita 16:4. 10 evil acts, 4 of speech. There it is, the 4 of speech energy. So that's really what they are. So 4 of speech energy, that's like really all it is. So schemer, demonic, right? That's what it is. Deliberate sabotager of order and organization. There it is, the chaos. So they deliberately sabotage order and organization, and then they try to cover it up. They try to cover up what they're hopeless about, right? Tries to cover up hopelessness. And then they try to falsify power of intentionality. So why they're where they are. And in the area of why they are where they are, right? That's when they start to boast, because they're trying to cover up the hopelessness of this situation where they were before, right? So that's the second one. So so where they were before, right? So it's like all in order. So now it's all in order. They're being put in order. I don't like that. So first they were in monopolistic competition, right? So the pressure for differentiation among similar offerings. So quite literally, so they failed to utilize. Oh, it's even right here: power of judging wisely, ability to choose correctly, circumspection in speech or action. I kid you not, circumspection in speech and action. So instead, let's do that. Let's look up the eddy of that circumspection. Okay. So circumspection eddy. So circumspection is from the word watchful caution. There it is. You see what I mean? So to look around, observe carefully, around, caution, prudence, careful observation, careful consideration, prudence, and conduct. So that's what they failed to do. So the pressure for differentiation among similar offerings. So they refuse to circumspect, right? They refuse to circumspect. So to, I guess, I don't know what they were doing, but maybe they had some sort of creativity in the matter, and then they failed to innovate sincerely. So the whole market works with innovating sincerely. So they failed to innovate sincerely because they refused to circumspect, and then they failed to receive any recognition because their creativity had died, quite literally. So it's like when you're supposed to be using your creativity, and then they were trying, so I guess they were trying to hoard their creativity. So it pretends to offer one thing while delivering another. So they did have creativity, and they were using the wrong markets to innovate. So then they failed to gain any kind of recognition within that market, and so then they became hopeless because that they were in the wrong market. So that's the energy that they were projecting at the fragmented market, which they ran towards, because they wanted to hide the fact that they failed the challenge of the pressure of differentiation. So basically they ran away from circumspecting. They quite literally try to literally bypass circumspecting in order to act like, that they belonged in some sort of fragmented market instead. You see what I'm saying? So they wanted to act like they weren't in a monopolistic market where they were supposed to innovate sincerely, but they failed to be sincere. They failed to circumspect. They failed to retain recognition, and then they failed to accept creativity, right? And so they then tried to, after they attempted to bypass circumspecting and so on and so forth, they went into a market that pressured. So the challenge was for pressure for coordination amongst many small players. It doesn't even make sense for them to go into that market, but that's the market that they went to. Okay, it's kind of like a mudslide. And so the fragmented market, the nobility within that situation, or what is necessary, is the unity. So unions, unity, and all that stuff. So they didn't want to. They didn't. So what is? They had nothing to do with building bridges. So they can build any bridges. So they possibly like stalked. I think that's what it is. Schemer, deliberate sabotager of order and organization. That makes sense now. Okay, I see. So they employed some sort of darker force, some sort of darker energy in order to now like utilize somebody else's order and organization in order to now enter the fragmented market, which utilizes the bridge, the building of bridges, right? Which is how that there would have been even a passage. So they basically deliberately sabotage somebody else's passage. So they possibly killed someone. They try to steal their identity. I feel like that's really what it is. Yeah. So the Meritus Corporation, which makes sense that it would be that because I shit you not, I just noticed it. Okay, I'll explain it in a second. So pressure for coordination amongst many small players. So the corporation there, how I see it, right? So where there would be cooperation, someone not cooperating with someone can take a life, literally. So literally, when someone doesn't want to cooperate, it could literally take a life, right? So that's how I saw it. But what you call it in the situation, right? Um, it was harvest thief persona, takes credit for others' hard-earned results. You see, so they basically scheme around results of other people, and then they boast about circumventing the circumstance without circumspection. So they utilize circumventing instead of circumspection, and that's how they thought that they owned both markets, which is now being removed. Well, because they depleted both markets in competition. They depleted it. So now they're dying where it's being depleted, right? Because it was closed. Yeah. The cycle was closed. So basically they wanted to get into the emerging market, but there's no bridge to an emerging market because it emerges. You know what I mean? It's not a bridge. It emerges. You see what I'm saying? Kingdom cometh kind of energy. It emerges. So they couldn't get to even be challenged for a new opportunity in untapped areas. Pressure to be, you know what I mean, for new opportunity. They couldn't even get there because it was never initiated, right? So which would have been their nobility with an initiative. I don't even have to read this because it failed, okay? So that's why they were projecting all of those failures. So those were all the failures. Yeah, I feel like it's in-gray energy. So those were all what it is that they were trying to use as a weapon to circumvent. So specifically, let's see what it is that the weapon that they were trying to use to circumvent, right? They were trying to attain some sort of wit, right? So that they could attain some sort of optic of wit in order to be perceived in a way that would allow them to circumvent judgment. But that's not working anymore, or had never really worked before. It was just being observed. Yeah, it's being dropped and dismissed. It's being dismissed. That's what it is. So this is like authority. So it's like stability is here now. Remember? So as we were clearing out that issue, it was also us showing that we were being proactive. So this is me being proactive, allowing God to bring in the stability while I focus on doing my job. You see what I'm saying now? So it's like all these different things and layers of reality. Okay. So yeah. So the cycle is complete for that situation about all those people, those like demonic entities and whatever they are, is being removed. Now, bad investment stability. So it's timing of the matter. So there's because I was just thinking about going to light up my cigarette, right? I was just about to be like, okay, I'm gonna finish up this reading. I'm gonna light up my cigarette. But what is showing is that like there's gonna be like not an intervention. First of all, I'm gonna protect this energy, okay? Because what I'm gonna do now, okay? Yeah, that's what's going on right now. So that's me passing, okay? Yeah, they didn't want me to pass something. They didn't want me to pass something. So basically, they didn't. Okay, so it's probably like a protectionist market, isn't it? Yeah, they've been removed. Yeah, they've been removed. They can't flatter, so they wanted me to do some sort of flattering. But breaks connection between allies to weaken them. I knew it. I knew I was smoking cigarettes for a reason. Like I knew it. Because that's the thing. I'm not trying to flatter. It's more so because it's like it doesn't always feel great, right? It doesn't always feel great, but it's about allyship. Just you don't ally with people because it feels great to ally with them all the time. Sometimes your allies come up with some crazy ideas and come up with some crazy things, and you're like, are you sure about that? You know what I mean? Sometimes you really got to put faith in your allies because you're like, because you know how different they are from you. And that's the whole point, is like allies aren't supposed to be the same as you. Allies are supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like Ocean's 8 energy, Ocean's 11 energy, like everyone has different roles within an organization. The whole point is that their personalities are so different that it brings in unity. And maybe that's what it is that they didn't want to accept the fact that the differences that made everybody uniqueness. You see what I mean? That was what was allowing for consolidation as well. It's like a lot going on. But like I said, I'm working on protecting. There's like a lot of like, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's something going on. I feel like maybe that's what it is. That's the energy right there. This is like the completion of the mirage, you could say. Yeah, the completion of the mirage. So someone really doesn't understand my manifestation ability. See, I'm the type of person that you send me the things that you want me to go through, and I won't not go through them. No, I'll manifest it and then send it back to you. I'll be like, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is that you wanted from me. I'm a master manifester. What else am I going to do? You asked me for a commission. Don't be surprised when I put it all together and send it to you. You asked me for a challenge. Don't be surprised when I put it all together and I give it back to you. You know what I mean? It's like someone wanting me to make a horror art for them, but they have a squeamish stomach. So whenever I make it for them, and they're like shocked that I'm not fucking, you know what I mean, deprived because of it. And I'm like, well, it's kind of like my job not to be deprived. I'm making it. You know what I mean? So it's like that's another thing I'm hearing, I'm seeing now. It's like someone is surprised by someone is really truly surprised by the like I don't have any other word for it but resilience or perseverance, maybe by the perseverance of the human nature or something. Like someone is truly like shocked and surprised and like, you know what I mean? Like baffled by the very like it's like the audacity kind of energy, but it's not the audacity, it's like the bravery, I guess you could say, courageousness. I don't think they're allowing themselves to see their own self-worth is what it is. It's like someone is shocked by someone else's or someone's worthiness. Yeah. It's like now they're waking up to realize how worthy like someone can be or people can be or individuals can really be. Like, yeah, there's like someone is truly like shocked like by worth, like by value. I feel like it's not even like value, it's like expertise or something like that. Okay, so let me look it up really quickly. Is it honor? Yeah, some like kind of like merit, valor, gallantry. I think that is what it is, gallantry. Yep. Prowess, gallantry and prowess. Gallantry is the right word. Gallantry is the right word. Yeah, courteous behavior, elegance, bravery, spirited, elegance, courteous, brave. That's what it is. Spirit, lively, chivalrous behavior, bravery, noble courtesy. Yeah, gallantry, bravery, like spirited audacity, courage. Yeah, basically, it's like the light of my gallantry, your gallantry collective is literally extracting prudence and stability from the earth and attracting it into you while um you put back strength, right? You put strength into the earth. It's like you're almost planting strength into the earth collective, and it's also say protect. Oh, there it is. I should, I thought it was protectionist market, but right here it says protect core strengths. That's what I'm saying. So it's like you're planting strength into the earth, and then it's building a core around it, and you're protecting it collective, and someone is shocked by your gallantry. That's gallantry. That's all gallantry. And it's showing prudence, noble courtesy, chivalrous behavior. It's showing a lot of that collective. It's giving. And so someone wanted to appeal for some sort of like battle, mental warfare, some sort of like stagnancy, like a lot of problems like that they have. Like they're not understanding how all the problems that they have are not the same problems that you have collective, or that we have, or I have. You know what I mean, collective? It's like someone is shocked that, you know what I mean, good people get good things, bad people get bad things. Like they're shocked. It's like whatever you put out, you get back 10 times fold. Like they're shocked. But more than that, like they're really like, it's like they're surprised. The gallantry and like nobility, love, honor, respect, and things like that. Light, like the light, God's light is like dismissing the darkness. Like they're shocked that's how it works. Like that's as above so below. That's how it really works. Like they're shocked. So yeah, collective, that's the reading. That's it. And we'll see what happens next when it comes to wages and I guess administrative freedom when it comes to that, because well, it takes administrative freedom for you to really implant or like plant in, or basically it takes administrative freedom to protect core strengths, right? It takes the administrative freedom for you to show that your prudence is available to receive stability. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. And yeah, we're moving on. See you guys next time. Bye.